kind of looking back early on, what or maybe what was the biggest failure, or maybe not even failure, but just teachable moment that you can look back to that's helped shape where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, so it was actually trying to build a secondary business. So in 2011, we started the business. 2012, Hurricane Sandy hit, and it stopped the real estate market for a good 6 months here. So we had this great idea to kind of be a third party, getting attractive bids for homeowners to raise their houses. Everybody had to raise their house in the shore area. So we started a company, hired a CEO, just tried to really get that thing moving while we were still trying to wholesale and flip. And that split focus that early on in our business was a problem. Neither one of those things were working out well. So we ended up hiring somebody. They only worked for about a year with us. And then we had to shut that business down. It could have worked in hindsight. Great idea, really, but not every good idea should become a business. Not for you anyway. So that was a hard lesson that we learned, and I still have ideas, but I don't let them pull me off track anymore. So that's a big lesson, is the focus, right? I'm sure you've read a million leadership books that talk about this, but I love Bruce Lee's quote, right? The exceptional man is just an average man with laser-like focus. Like, you just have to stay focused. You can't, what we used to call it, straddling two boats, right? And it's a really good picture in our mind's eye about what that looks like when you're trying to do two things at the same time. If you put one leg in one rowboat and another leg in another rowboat, eventually you're going to fall and both boats lose. So that's what happened with these businesses. That was a hard lesson to learn. I'm glad we learned it early and before we had significant capital at stake, but it was still a tough pill to swallow.
And that's a challenge for a lot of, like, you take the DISC test, the high Ds, the drivers, the visionary type personalities, entrepreneurs out there. Is we have all these ideas going around in our head, and some of them are probably like million or billion-dollar ideas, and we're like, man, I got to make that happen. And then of course we're working on our current should be $1 million idea, or whatever, and then it's not that hard left unchecked to start chasing some of these other rabbits, running down some of these other trails. And
Yeah. Without my wife and without my business partner, the DISC test and we did culture index and predictive index and things like that. Every single one of those calls me all gas and Travis all brake. So thank God I have people in my corner that pull me back down to reality, because I would be off doing a million things and none of them well.